Hello, beautiful people. Welcome in, and welcome to the replay if you're catching the replay. Sound check, how is the sound? I'm vibing out to Michael Levy, Dance of the Priestess. I'm sure it's probably not super loud. Oh, it sounds good. Awesome. Blessing you all with the Palo Santo. Gonna give it a second for some people to join. I love Palo Santo. Doing some figure eights to open up this space, this portal to the unconscious realm, to the dream realm, the astral realm. Feels about right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I want to talk about Mercury retrograde Kazemi, which actually happened earlier this morning. And then what I really want to talk about in this live is dreams. I want to talk about our dreams and whether or not they do give us guidance to the future or for the future, even if they're not considered to be a premonition or also known as precognitive, which is known as psychic dreams. So I did ask on my story if anyone wanted to come on live, tune in, and we can chat about a dream. If you want to share a dream that you've had, we can interpret it live together here. And I will also share a dream that I have had recently and just share a little bit of how I have began to interpret it and analyze it, and how I feel that it is, even though it's not something of the future or maybe not a premonition type dream, it definitely gave some insight to maybe what's going on presently and how I can use this information or this insight that came forth through the dream, and that will help me moving forward within my life at this point. So in a sense, I do see the insight towards the future, and then I also see how it is relevant to what's going on presently within my own psyche. All right, so let's talk about Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, as I've been sharing previously for a couple of weeks now. I guess Mercury's been retrograde for 2 weeks. And when I first started talking about Mercury retrograde, I spoke about how I feel with this one in particular, especially since there was so much, in my perspective, so much emphasis with the Venus retrograde on the unconscious mind. I've been doing a lot of focus and practices with the unconscious mind and with deep wound healing. And people that I, connect with and clients have also been doing that work as well. And with Venus retrograde in Leo, there was this strong focus of the unconscious becoming conscious and the ability to heal aspects of the ego or our conscious awareness. And I can see where all of this is leading to on our path is that this experience in really making the unconscious conscious is allowing us to, one, face our fears, right? Because a lot of the times what is deep within the the unconscious may have been, just traumatic events and emotions that we don't want to really sit with at the time. So by experiencing and witnessing what's happening in the unconscious mind and with our deep inner being, that going through that process really gives us the strength and courage to step into something that is bigger, that is greater for us moving forward, right? And here's the connection of moving towards the future. And so with Mercury retrograde beginning towards the end of Venus retrograde, I feel like it's just like Venus passing the torch to Mercury. And then with Jupiter retrograde beginning this week, I feel that Venus and Mercury are kind of being like, okay, here you go. Like, right. Like it's like a tag type situation. And so with Mercury retrograde and it being in Virgo, in my opinion, is the healer of the zodiac. Virgo really has this strong ability to look inward within a system or within the body or within just our own, you could say in this case, our own state of consciousness or unconsciousness, and seeing what is out of balance, seeing what's toxic, just really getting into the details that others may not be able to really see, or other parts of ourselves or archetypes wouldn't be able to see. And with this said, Mercury in Virgo, as I mentioned before, is actually exalted, right? So it means that it has an abundance of resources. It's very strong here. It's an honor. It's just, it can almost do no wrong in a sense. And also Mercury is the ruler, the planetary ruler or planetary guide, as I like to say, of Virgo, right? So you have this triple force of just being very good at what Virgo's task is at the time, right? And at this time, Mercury's retrograde in Virgo. So the task essentially is that inner focus, right? I'm really getting deep ego healing, deep wound healing, deep ego healing. I'm getting the hermit energy. And this is essentially a journey of understanding ourselves, right? Understanding what's within us. And Mercury just had that auspicious alignment with the sun earlier this morning, which is known as Mercury retrograde Cazimi. And this is essentially when Mercury is in the heart of the sun. So I really connect with Mercury retrograde Cazimi. I would say, I don't want to necessarily compare, say one's better than the other, but I feel the natural flow of going in and connecting to your inner source of divine intelligence. It's more in alignment, more in flow with the organic energies of already being introspective with the retrograde experience, right? Being more reflective. And, it could even be like you're in your mind more, but it's that keen insight or keen eyesight to those inner parts of yourself. That naturally happens with any retrograde cycle if you're working in co-creation with the retrograde cycles. And so with this said, I do sense with the Mercury retrograde Cazimi, this is a point of just that illumination, whatever was really deep, whatever you were searching for or wanting to get to the bottom of within this journey for you personally, that is essentially, it's not that it's given to you, but it's there, it's illuminated. And so if you are in the state of awareness to really connect with that, to receive that, then this is when it's most divinely aligned, essentially, right? So Mercury retrograde Cazimi is the peak of the Mercury retrograde cycle, right? So this is the halfway point. So now again, it's that peak energy, everything coming to culmination. And then at this point, right, as we are on the other end of it, even though we're still kind of in the veil of Mercury retrograde Cazimi, this is the point where we are beginning to reflect in a sense of integration, right? So we've had our experience in this first part of the retrograde cycle, and now things have kind of come to a head, right? Or came into illumination. And I would really give it like the span of this whole week, right? Even though Mercury retrograde Cazimi was this morning, I would say give it until the weekend, especially with the moon getting darker and darker, right? And so it's this ability it's interesting because it's kind of like with the moon getting darker, right? And it seems like we're going into a darker type of space. This to me feels like there's a silence, there's a peacefulness, or it's really quiet so you can hear or tune into that insight, that divine guidance. So if you don't receive what it is that you're desiring to understand or to connect with yet, if you haven't received that, trust that you will receive that at some point. I would say this week, I definitely feel confident in putting a timestamp on it. And this is really bringing us to this new moon in Virgo, which is going to be, I think, actually a week from today. Surprisingly enough. Yeah. So, or it's Thursday the 14th. So September 14th is the new moon in Virgo. So that really feels like we're coming into an aha moment in this new moon in Virgo, right? And that's the lunar Virgo cycle being initiated, is a point in which we can really integrate and like move forward with what's been given to us, what we have received. And so I have been sharing a lot about dreams. I have had a lot of people reach out to me in my DMs sharing about dreams, or just saying that it's resonating, or just over the past couple of months, dreams have been really, really crazy. So Wednesday cat, yes. Speaking of Wednesday, right? Wednesday cat. So, yeah, I want to share with you all a dream that I had. And if anyone wants to share a dream with me, or wants to come on camera and share their dream, possibly we can interpret it together. I'm not a professional dream analyst. Yeah, that's the right word for that. I'm not a professional. I'm learning, but I feel it's coming really naturally as far as the interpretation. And I know it's because I have connected really deeply with my intuition. I've been doing that. I've been doing the physical body work and the energetic work and all of the things. So it's seeming to click really well. And I am in the process of learning through many different modalities as far as how to connect with your dreams, how to receive the messages and such. So I'm really excited to share this journey and to connect with you, and maybe together we can unpack a dream for you. So if anyone wants to go live, analyst, yeah. So if anyone wants to go live on camera, I will be happy to walk with you and yeah, interpret your dream. So there was something else about dreams that I wanted to share really quickly. I think I'll say though, one thing that did come to mind with dreams, and I had this really nice aha moment today talking to a friend. I have really done a lot of healing in regard to my relationship with my grandmother, more in the sense of the deep grief that I had from her passing. And mind you, she passed away almost 20 years ago. It'll be 20 years next year. And it wasn't until this past winter when I spent the season with my mother, and my mom has all of her things, and it was like I couldn't avoid it. And her presence was everywhere. And I had made an intention, like set an intention aside from healing that grief, which is it ever really healed at the end of the day. But aside from that, I set an intention at the beginning of the year. I was like, oh, I want to really like enhance my psychic abilities. I really want to go deep with it. And naturally, one of the things that I had been suppressing for so long is the psychic sense of tuning into spirits that have, you could say, souls, right? I've seen ghosts, but more so spirits like my grandmother, right? I have really blocked that channel and that ability to connect in that way, because I knew that my grandmother was a strong guide for me, and I just really wasn't ready for that. So with that said, I had opened myself to learning more and developing my skills more. And I just had this memory that, and I remember that my grandmother, before she died, she was getting her PhD in clinical psychology. And when I was little, my stepsister and she would do these like little tests and sessions with us and asking us questions. And we were preteens at one point we were preteens and then teenagers, but nonetheless, she was sitting here and asking us these questions, and she was just really fascinated by the mind and the body and how all of that worked together. She's a Virgo. And so it really dawned on me, as my grandmother is such a strong guide, and since I've opened that channel, I've really felt her around. And I was like, maybe this is her influence with all of this consciousness coming through and talking about dreams and like the state of mind and in this levels and stages of consciousness, all of this stuff that, I mean, I was kind of into in high school when I was doing this with her, but I wasn't really in it. And now I'm in it, I feel. And my grandmother's birthday is Saturday, which I'm actually doing a tarot reading, card readings in person. So that's just going to be a very interesting day. But anyways, I had this aha moment of, I was like, oh, I feel that I'm channeling my grandmother's energy and she's guiding me in this way. So anyways, I just wanted to share that. I was really, really excited to have that aha moment. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is, as we are sitting with this Mercury retrograde energy and honestly really moving beyond the retrograde cycles and just how we navigate our life, because there's always going to be an opportunity to heal. It's not a linear journey. I do feel that dreams are one of the most powerful ways to heal those wounds, face our shadows, face our fears, and also to receive guidance that will help us within, making decisions, living out our future and such. And that was one of the main intentions that I had in wanting to really start to decode and interpret my dreams, was for healing and living my best life, connecting with my higher self and all of that. So, that is what I wanted to chat with you all about. Yay. Hi, Jen. Yeah. So, I feel dreams are a good place to play, to learn, and to receive. I did a live with my friend Raven, who really has a lot of experience with just keeping track of dreams and using it as guidance and interpretation and all of that stuff. And she mentioned how that is the opportunity for us to fully receive. We have so much control within our waking life that the dream space is an opportunity to just, our mind is already in that sleeping state. So you can already tell I'm still learning. So I don't even have the jargon or anything of that probably correct. But yes, our consciousness, right, is sleeping. It's quiet anyways. And so we can receive from the deeper layers of our consciousness, right? And that's really powerful and important for me personally. And I know a lot of you have been having dreams and they've been crazy. And so I really want to talk about that in this live. And so I did ask a question on my story of whether or not you all believe that the dreams do give us, despite any and every dream, do you feel that dreams give us insight and guidance to the future? Maurice, oh my gosh. I was going to shout you out when I saw you join, but I was trying to keep it cool. Yes. All right. So of course the Pisces would join at this perfect divine time. So with that said, yeah, I do feel, personally, I feel that dreams, or you know what, I can't say this with full confidence. This resonated recently when I heard this, but I don't know, I can't really fully make a committed yes or no. But at this moment, I can see how dreams do give insight to the future, even if it's not necessarily a psychic dream. Okay. So, I'll give an example of my dream and how I do feel that while it wasn't focused on this is happening in the future, or maybe it is, I have no idea. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe there's no way to really tell if it is a psychic dream or not until it manifests in, the physical. But I can share with you how this particular dream has given me insight for the future. So, oh, Jen, you're a Pisces. I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. So, the other night I had a dream, and my dreams have been freaking crazy. So I had a dream that I was going to a concert, and it was weird because it started out in a big stadium, and I was walking with a friend. We were walking down the stairs, right, to, like, we had VIP seating. So we were really excited. We're like, oh, we're going to be up front. This is going to be cool. And I mean, it was a huge stadium. And I remember walking down because for some reason we were up high and we were going down to the stadium part, or like the front part, the VIP section. And as we were walking down the stairs, the environment, the scene kind of slowly shift to like this stone city, like it was almost an ancient city. It kind of makes me think of like Roman or Greek like games, like if they had some sort of thing where it's like we're about to step into arena of like the Olympics or something like that. But it was giving like the stone ancient type situation. So I remember we were walking down the stairs and I was looking ahead and I was like, oh my goodness, like it's getting really, really close. I don't know, for some reason that stood out to me. And I was like, it almost felt like we had to like it was like an alley, and then it just kept getting tighter and tighter. And then at that point, as we moved through that, we were at the base of whatever this stadium supposedly was. However, it ended up opening to like a grand marketplace that was almost abandoned, but still kind of this stone city that was a bit barren, right? There was not really anything going on. And so I remember we walked to this car, and in this car were other friends. And so we got in the car with them. And so now the focus was not a concert. I don't know what was going on. And then I remember hearing like helicopter or something, or a plane like flying over, and it was really, really loud. And I started to get this apocalyptic sense in the dream. And so when I looked up, I saw there was like, it was almost like a helicopter, but it was the helicopters that are designed to like float, or not float, but like move in the water, right? They have those. Yeah, I'm bad at describing things, but I think you can probably get what I'm saying, right? So it could land on the water and not sink. And so I remember it was going crazy. I think it was like 3 times, and it finally landed. And then and we're watching this from the car, right? But it's at a pretty good distance. Then we see like 2 or 3 police vans like ram this helicopter thing and basically cornered it and stopped it. And at this time it turned into road. It wasn't water anymore, which is interesting. And I'm now, as I'm saying this, I'm tapping into the elements of water and earth, right? Emotions and security or survival. But anyway, so, yeah, wait, lost my train of thought. Okay. Yeah. So we saw that and we're like, oh shit, we have to get out of here. Like we got to go. And so then we get ready to go, and we're starting the car, and these like men come up to the car. They were definitely like government officials or something like that. And they're like, get out of the car, get out of the car. We got to search the car. Like you can't leave. So we all get out of the car. They're searching. They're pulling all of our things out of the trunk and in the car, and like all our bags, like basically we were left with nothing. And I realized that I was like, oh, I need to get my ID. I really need my ID. Like I pleaded with these guys, and they refused. They were like, nope, you can't have your ID. And so then as I realized, like after they refused, I realized all my friends are getting back in the car to leave. And I'm like, oh shit. And I go to open the car door, and my friend like pulls it closed, like, no, you can't come in here. And they were like, no. And they basically drove off. And so I pretended like I didn't care. And I just started walking the opposite way. And I turned around because they went in the opposite way of where I was walking. And I thought I saw them turn around, but they didn't. And mind you, it was like we were in the apocalypse, or shit was going down, but it was also like it already happened. So it was weird. Like I wasn't panicking or anything. And I saw that my friends left, and I thought they were fucking with me, but they just left me. And I didn't even care. So I just started walking, and there were a line of cars like also leaving. And I just decided to hitchhike, which I would never do. I mean, I can't say never, but that freaks me out to even think about hitchhiking. So, yeah. And then I woke up, right? And so the first thing that I've learned in dream interpretation, and I'm going to check in with the comments, but the first thing I learned with dream interpretation is that, one, you want to pay attention to how you feel. Like in the dream, I feel like in the dream more so, and then your reaction to the dream after you wake up is like, then pay attention to that. But definitely pay attention to your emotion in the dream, right? And how they connect together. Then you want to pay attention to any specific thing. Like for me, what really came to mind was the ID, right? So then you want to pay attention to something like an artifact, a thing, a person, whatever sparks your emotion the most in the dream, which for me, it was definitely the ID. I was like, why was I so focused on this ID? I mean, they're taking all my things. That was really interesting. And so for me, that actually made a lot of sense, because for a lot of you know, or maybe some of you don't know, but I have been really experiencing like a death of my identity, right? So I don't want to go by the name Portia anymore. I'm going by Urania. Urania is my higher self. I had this whole 28-day ritual of initiating myself into, or integrating my consciousness with Urania's consciousness, my higher self. And there's been a merging to the point where I'm changing every little thing. My friends are calling me Urania. Like some family members call me Urania. That's just, I'm showing up as this. This is my new identity. And for some reason, it's really important. And so what I gathered from that dream is that I feel that my psyche is giving me insight that something deep within me is still holding on to this old identity. And I think about that when it makes a lot of sense because I've been having sensation within my body that I know it's like a sensation of the past, and it's really uncomfortable. And since I've been doing all of this work, I haven't really felt that sensation as much. And this week, it's really been sitting heavy with me, like in my body. And so what I gathered from this dream is that the ID aspect is like, wow, okay, yes, there's something that I'm still holding on to, some aspect of Portia, right? And that is, it's manifested in my body in some way. And now I'm getting that insight from my dreams. And so while I'm not sure that this dream is giving me insight to, hey, the future, like, oh my gosh, like it's going to be apocalypse and shit's going down and I might be separated from my friends. What I'm gathering more so is just my whole relationship with my identity. And like, maybe there's some things that I still am sitting with or holding on to that I'm not 100% like conscious of, right? And so my psyche is really helping me with that part of the situation. And so that's one of the things that I've been learning is not to take our dreams as literally as, you know, as they happen, and more so looking at the symbology in it, because I've been having a lot of dreams with cars or just different forms of transportation. So to me, that feels like change and movement. And then also a lot dealing with water, which is emotions. And the earth element too speaks to, for me, a security, because that's like security within myself, security and survival, you know, just within my daily life and what it is that I'm doing. And so that is one of the ways that I have been sharing, or that I've been interpreting my dreams. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Does anyone want to share their dreams? I'm going to go back to the comments. Okay. So Jen says that her dreams help her with the collective as well, not just for myself. Oh yeah, I can see that for sure. Yeah, I want to get to that point too. And I'm sure it all works together, you know, like I think for me, just this is my way of, I feel like, contributing to the collective with my own dreams. And I'm sure like there's, you know, people are watching this, they're going to resonate with, they'll resonate with what calls them. Marie says, well, my last dream turned out to be a very accurate, predictive one. 1 week later. Yes. Oh my goodness. I mean, I would love to hear that if you want to share, but yeah. So, I mean, and there's some people, I wouldn't be surprised with you, Maurice, because you're super intuitive and, you know, it's like, when you're open to that, and I feel that, like, for me, I don't know if I'm funny about getting like psychic dreams. I'm just like I have my own rules and limitations. So maybe my psyche is like, okay, you're not ready for that yet. But I mean, it's definitely like I'm learning it, and it's a process for sure. Marie says, overall, for me, they are predictions, diagnostic, and a way of keeping me from lying to myself by day. Right? Yeah, I feel that. Malachi says, for me, they're mostly symbolic, less predictive, more interpretive. Yeah, I would hope, Malachi, that yours was mostly symbolic, because you have some crazy ass dreams. And those are just the ones that you tell me. So, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to share with everybody. Oh, it's like so hot. I'm gonna put it out there if anyone wants to come live. I'm gonna pull some cards though to see, because I just cannot not pull cards. And so I was planning on it. It's really, really hot in here and I want some more light. Okay, there we go. Whew, hot. Oh yeah, so the question that I posed on my story, whether or not people believe that dreams give insight and guidance, for a future event, like always. Like, of course we have dreams, that do. I think the way we perceive them and interpret them and connect with our psyche can really always give us guidance, right? The way we look at it, the way we perceive it. But on my story, more than 50% said that not all dreams are giving insight to the future. So we shall see. Okay, let's see. What messages do we have for Mercury retrograde, Kazemi? All right, friends. Some major arcana. Wow, sweaty. Okay. So Divine, what messages do you have for us on this fine Mercury retrograde, Kazemi? Oh, there's one. There's two. Wow, that's fast. Okay, the channel is open. The channel is open. Okay, what else? Oh, I'm losing light. You're giving me a lot of cards, Divine. Wow, 3 cards here and 2 here. Okay. So the very first card we have is the Hanged Man. Okay. Yes, this card is surrender. I've been feeling surrender a lot with the Hanged Man. Let me see if I can get some more light on my... Okay, not really. All right, so we have here the Hanged Man, surrender. And what really comes to mind with this particular card, because it's like, it looks like he's about to slaughter this cow here. And it feels like sacrifice, right? Surrender and sacrifice. And I believe I got this. I received this card at the beginning of Mercury retrograde. Oh, that's weird. What just happened here with my light? Oh, okay. 1 second, friends. I just lost some lighting. Maybe this will help. Maybe not. I have grow lights on a timer and they just went off, but that doesn't really do justice. So, oh well. All right. So the next card here is 7 of Swords. All right. It's interesting with this deck. I always feel with the Swords cards, it's like we have to walk through something. We have to get through a threshold, or like it's like gatekeeping, right? This Ankh is back here. And so I feel it's like we have to travel beyond these rows of swords to get to that Ankh, which that Ankh is eternal life and eternity. And so what that feels like for me is that, yeah, it's like penetrating through these layers of the mind, through these layers of consciousness to really attain this Ankh and what that means for us, right? And so for me, that means divine intelligence, that means divine protection, and really, honestly, it means the ability to find that sense of peace in the midst of chaos. So, like, what does divine protection feel like for you? And what is, yeah. And really, since we're looking at swords, we're dealing with the thoughts, the mind, right? So what thoughts are keeping you in resistance is what I'm getting with that. And so that's when that element of sacrifice comes forth. What can you let go of? Can you shift? Like, maybe it's just simply shifting your perspective on things, like shifting your perspective on dreams, say if they always seem, or maybe you don't dream, or maybe there's a reason why you don't dream or connect with your dreams. Maybe this is the time to open yourself up to that, or open yourself up to something that, may have been blocking you from receiving this, and this is bringing me back to what I spoke about the astrology, but receiving that ability to like whatever your creative gifts are, right? Receiving the confidence and the inner strength to step into that, to do something that scares you. So Jen says, it feels like I'm going through a dark night of the soul lately. I've been ripped wide open. I really resonate with the cards. Yeah, I feel you. Whew. Yeah, that was me last year, and now I'm on the integration part of it. And yeah, there's a lot. It's really is a lot. But it's like I feel the harder, right? The more dense it is, the greater the transformation. And I know it sounds cliche, we hear it all the time, but you're a very strong fucking soul, you know, when you have like just that heaviness, the density of what it is that you're moving through, that just shows you how strong you are and just how strong you'll be on the other side of it all. So I feel that. All right, so we have the 6 of Cups, we have the 8 of Wands, and 2 of Wands. All right, so let me sit with this. The 8 of Wands definitely feels like Mercury coming through with some sort of divine message. Oh, this lighting kind of sucks. Oh well. I'm gonna wrap it up here in a bit anyways. But yeah, so the 8 of Wands definitely feels like some divine message coming through. So I'm looking at these lotuses, and I like how one is open and one is budding. So if you have received something, that's great. Like you're going to receive something in this moment. You're going to receive something soon. Something's here for you. Something has blossomed, and there's something else coming forth, right? So we want to continue to make space for what is coming forth, because there's more, right? And so we are coming up to the second harvest season, which is going to be the equinox, the autumn equinox here in the northern hemisphere, right? So the first harvest season was Lammas, which was the halfway point between summer solstice and autumn equinox, right? So the second one is coming up. So it's like we have something here to harvest. So enjoy, learn, integrate, and then the next one, I feel like this is coming forth around the third harvest season, which is Samhain, Halloween, right? October is going to be fucking fire and transformative with the eclipses happening. So I'm just going to let you know right now. So this really makes sense. I feel that. Let's see, with the 6 of Cups here. Let's see. All right, so I'm tuning into the 2 feathers here of Ma'at or Mats, right? I feel justice, I feel balance, and with cups, right, there's balance within the emotions, the emotional body. I feel whatever's coming forth, whatever you're receiving, you know, either if it's in this live or if it's just in this period of time as we're coming up to the autumn equinox, and we're just in this energy of the new moon coming forth soon. I feel that something is balancing within your emotional body. And yeah, I feel like you're receiving something that you deserve, in the sense of not in a bad way, but in like something good, right? Something favorable. The six of Cups is usually always a favorable card, right? And it's a bit of like, okay, you've reached a small milestone, right? You've overcome something, and you are going to be gifted. You are going to receive, which also is coming through again with that lotus, the lotus flower. And then finally with the 2 of Wands here. But yes, okay, so this is saying, but it's not over yet, right? There's still something else that you are going to be guided to. Like there's still an unveiling process happening, right? And I feel that it's just the way the wands are placed, like an X, and it really calls to me, right? And then this eye here, right? So again, it's going to push us or bring us back to the Hanged Man, and the receiving, or the ability to shift our perspective, to make a sacrifice so that we can receive. And also with the 7 of Swords, it's really just bringing to mind the number 7, right? The spiritual vibration of 7, that mystery, that spiritual path, the inner wisdom, the connectedness, and just that divine path of just, there's always something to be uncovered. There's always something to be revealed. It's always this journey of mystery and enlightenment. And so I really feel that that's a big vibe around what I'm picking up here now. And so receive what is here for you and know that there's more to come, and really just continue to do the quote unquote work, and with, just be clear with your intentions, and we're all good. I am turning into darkness, speaking of the void and all of that. Just checking in on your comments. Oops. So Jen says that she's trusting the process, deepening a relationship with self. Yes. Forgiveness has been hard. Oof. Yeah. Loving yourself. I love that. Chocolate Coco 1989 says, I understand love, trust the process. You're number one always. Yeah. And everything else will shift right around you. So, all right, I'm losing lights. Thank you all for tuning in or for watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, I hope to connect with you again. And hopefully I will be able to chat with someone live and interpret a dream. All right, I will talk to you all in the next live. Take care.